Bless it, it's stuck in here. Do you not see the bird? Do you not see the bird that's stuck in here?
Can I get the bird?
So I move right away out of the way, it'll come out. Oh, do you know what? It just won't. Do you want to hold the door open? I'll try to get rid of it. Mum, 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 mum. Come on, darling, I know you're tired. I'll go in the corner. How's that going to help you? Come on, go that way. This way. Come on, there you go. Come on, darling. No, 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 no. Wrong way. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Wrong way. Come on. If you go out the right way, that's it. Wrong way again. Come on. Just be really quiet, Jazz. It will come out. Come on, darling. Oh. No, you can't get out that way. Come on. Yeah, I'm hurting yourself. Oh.
Should I open it?
Yeah. Oh, no, he's jumped back in. Come on. Oh, dang it. Come on, darling. Come on. I thought this was going to be really easy.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, good idea. Come on. Come on. Come on, out. That way. Hey, go on. Go. Yes, yes! Yes! He lives!
Woo.
Oh, well done. High five. Well done.
And it just fell down.
Yeah, I bet he's exhausted. Shut this. Poor thing. How long's he been stuck in there? Probably a couple of hours. Let's have a little look. Let's just see if he's alright.
Hero.
And a hero comes along. Oh, he's gone, look. Oh, no, he's not. He's there. Oh, poor thing. He's probably exhausted. I hope he's okay. He's probably thirsty and tired. He's not having a good day. Hello and welcome back to That British Homestead. So my name's Nick, and today, after saving a pigeon, we've decided to tackle this bed here. It's one of the larger beds that we have here on the allotment, and we're going to be turning it into a no-dig bed, which means a load of cardboard and then covered in horse manure. The great thing about this bed is that if we do it in this sort of style, we'll have somewhere to plant our carrots. I love the no-dig method for carrots. I think it's really good because you can plant tiny seeds in it and you don't have to worry about black plastic and all of that sort of jazz. So what we're going to be doing is laying down a load of cardboard. We've actually covered it up with this black plastic to kill the grass that was here. So that's what we've done. There was a load of grass and stinging nettles and all sorts growing through here. As you can see, there was an actual pipe in the way with us even noticing. So it's a great way of just like basically having a look what was on the bed. Now all the weeds have gone. They've died down nicely because the black plastic basically stops sunlight getting to the soil, but it allows things like water all the way through, so that is really good. So it's not dry, it's beautifully preserved soil. So the first thing we're going to be doing is going to be breaking up all of these boxes. These boxes are from Amazon. We do have a little bit of an issue with Amazon. I like a little bit of Amazon, so which is good because it means that we have quite a lot of boxes, and this method does take a lot of boxes. In fact, one of the reasons why I haven't done it across the allotment is the lack of boxes. I don't know about you, but I actually don't have that many boxes, and I've saved and saved and saved these for the last few months. I also, it's so funny because when you have an allotment, people will put rubbish out and you'll be like, oh, do you not want, can I have it? And they're like, what, you want my old boxes? I'm like, yeah, I need them. So it is funny when you get an allotment because I've done that twice today. I've taken some boxes off my neighbours because it was bin day, and somebody else was like, oh, you don't want any butts, do you? I was like, yes, I want some butts. So I'm just taking everybody's rubbish. So as you can see here, if it's got plastic tape on it, you've got to take that off, because if you don't, that doesn't biodegrade. So you end up with this beautiful soil that when you're trying to plant something in, you just pull up these tape and it stops the roots from going downwards and messes it up, and you just have to pull it out later. So it's not the end of the world, but you do need to make sure that you're removing any of the tape. So what I do, depending on the type of boxes, any metal I take off of them, any plastic tape I take off them, but lots of them now have biodegradable tape, which is fab. So I'm going to make sure that I put it in my pocket, and I just basically put it in the rubbish later. So I know that lots of people get worried about cardboard and it being sprayed with things, etc. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Yeah, you can worry about everything, but at the end of the day, you're kind of eating a product that with less sprays and everything on it, and it is a great way of making this very, very, very usable and making it more enjoyable being in the garden. I'm probably like most people, weeding is nice sometimes, but it isn't probably the thing that I want to do most of the time. So there's about 7 really good benefits of no dig gardening, and one of them is that you don't have to water as frequently, which is a massive benefit that I found this summer. As you know, there are massive drought this summer. We actually had 500 times the amount of forest fires in the UK than normal, which is redonkulous. But if you are not tilling, you don't actually have to water as much. I tend to water in a really deep water method. So instead of like putting a little sprinkling of water every couple of days, I will absolutely completely drench the soil so it is watered all the way through. This will promote the roots growing really down deep into the soil, and because you're not tilling, there's no like platform of really hard soil which is just being compressed. There's also fewer weeds, but I'd like to put a caveat in here. I would say that not necessarily fewer weeds, but they're so much easier to pull up. And I think that I kind of proved that in my last video where I was pulling up some of the weeds that had grown through the no dig bed, which is next to this bed. Oh my days. It is so much easier and so much better to get weeds out of something that is light and fluffy, especially things like the stinging nettles. I've just pulled up stinging nettles again today from a bed that doesn't have light and fluffy soil on it, and I've absolutely stung myself through the gloves because it's such a hard mission and you end up having to wrap it around your hand a few times to pull it out. Whereas in the no dig bed, honestly, it was so much more manageable. It was amazing. It was the dream. You also have fewer slug problems. Well, that's really difficult to say. And that's because in a no dig bed, your plants are less stressed, and you have less sort of debris and weeds for them to hide underneath, which is really good because once again, underneath that, I was going to say newspaper, but you could use newspaper. Underneath that cardboard, any of the native sort of weeds are not able to get through, so they die off, and it just works like a weed membrane. So you're only talking about annual weeds, which are very easy to pull up. They're literally like they pull out very easily. Harvesting is a lot. It's just a joy as well. There's also less time that's just needed to do like grunt work, like weeding, which if you have an allotment, I was talking about this with someone on the committee today. I don't think, well, he said he doesn't think that people kind of understand the level of commitment and work that an allotment takes, and being able to alleviate things like weeding is massive because weeding is such a grueling task, especially in really, really hot months where you just don't have time for it. And I mean, I love gardening. I spend a lot of time down my allotment. I've probably spent about 10 hours in the last couple of days down my allotment. However, actually probably more than that, probably more like 15. But the point is it's very difficult when you've got so much to do to weed. So for example, when it's my gardens are all up and full harvest mode, I have 2 jobs in summer and neither of them are weeding. I've just got to concentrate on harvesting and putting it away, and if I get time, I'm sowing seeds for the winter. I don't have time. I just simply don't have time to weed and turn around beds and all of that sort of stuff. That's why we spend so much time over the winter and over the spring and the autumn getting the beds ready, because you just don't have the luxury of the time that you do in the months where nothing's really ready for harvest. So that is a big concern, and it's a great time saver. Also, you have some more success with harder to grow crops like brassicas and carrots. I have to say that on the carrot front, I cannot grow carrots in any other method of gardening that I've ever used. I can only grow carrots, on a no dig bed that has got cardboard underneath and horse manure on top. I've never, and hand on my heart, since the year I started growing, I was like, right, I want to grow some carrots. Sowed a load of carrots. I don't think I got any carrots. I sowed some more the year after. None of them come up. But the carrots I grew initially, like one came up. And then I actually had a carrot in my front garden that I don't know when I sowed that seed, but I sowed probably about 5,000 seeds. One carrot came up. Whereas I think that when I had the horse manure bed, that's the one adjacent to this one, well, I'm telling you right now, I think every single seed came up. And when I sow them in my no dig pots, every single seed comes up. So it is one of those things that genuinely I struggle growing without that benefit. Like, seriously, that might just be me. You might be like, oh, I can grow carrots anywhere, which is amazing and probably witchcraft, but I really struggled with them. I got to the point where I was saying to my partner, I don't know who grows carrots. I don't think they actually grow. I just couldn't. It took me years. I think it was about 5-6 years that it took me to like be able to consistently grow carrots. I'm very proud. So even though that you look at my carrots and you think, well, they're rubbish, they're a lot better than they were, trust me. And basically things are meant to look greener and healthier, and I do think that's mostly because you're incorporating so much more organic matter into the soil, and you're really working on that soil structure. Additionally speaking, I mean, if I was a worm, I don't think I'd want to be tilled. That doesn't look like much fun to me. Also, soil erosion is a really big, really big important thing when it comes to gardening, because soil erosion happens when you're tilling. Additionally speaking, you also are breaking down the soil structure and releasing carbon into the atmosphere. So if you are someone who worries about this, then it is a big concern that tilling is actually leading to carbon emissions and greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Now, this is my bit of my disclaimer if I go on a little bit. My degree is actually in geology and natural sciences, so I can go on and on and on. My favourite animal in the world is tardigrades, and tardigrades are just amazing, and they're like little water bears that live in the soil and they break down things, and they really work well when they're just left alone. As well as most of the microbiome of the soil just needs to be left alone so that it's in its layers and it's not being churned into the soil. Also, things like mycelium work really well and so benefit for the soil. They work as a network which kind of links all the plants together. It's amazing, and that works better when it's not disturbed. So it is immensely important that these things are just kind of left to their own devices and we're able to basically not till. But once again, I'm trying everything. I'm not going to say that this is the only and the best thing and all of that sort of jazz, but I just thought I would go through the pros. Another pro that people talk about is that you don't get sore back from digging. I would say that, yeah, you don't have a sore back from digging. Mostly I have issues with my hips. I don't know if you guys are the same. I have such sore hips when I'm doing any sort of really physical gardening, but I have to say that you cannot say to someone, oh, I don't get a sore back because I'm no dig. Did you bring in your own compost? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, because I've just spent 2 days in the garden and I did 4 beds, I think it was. And I literally consider hauling in wood chips as a luxury. I actually look forward to that. It's so much easier than the compost because it's so heavy. So yeah, I'm just saying. But the kind of the cons of it is that you do need a large amount of compost, and not everybody is able to find good quality compost, or what I'm looking for, free compost, because it's immensely expensive, especially when you're starting off, because you need a very thick layer of compost on there. I always find the thicker the compost, the better it works. So, I mean, you can put a really stingy level of compost on, but if you're going to grow anything, in there. You need quite a thick layer. Year after year, you do use less compost, but it's still a significant amount. And with the issues that we've been having with compost being contaminated with pesticides, it is a worry. And you know what? While I was just doing this bed, I was worrying about that significantly. Now, you can buy in compost, but that doesn't alleviate the worry of pesticides. I mean, in the UK, I think it was last year, lots of people were buying organic compost and having it contaminated with pesticides. It's worrying stuff. And it's kind of like a little bit of a Russian roulette sort of situation where you don't know if the money that you're spending on compost is going to be good or not. You see what I mean? But it is the first season is where you need so much more. If you're buying it, bagging it, or wheelbarrowing it in, it is quite difficult. Also, for me, one of the negatives is it's the barrowing, okay, of compost. And I don't want to complain because I do feel healthier from the strength that I've built up. And it is quite funny because my partner is a very physical job, and he comes over to help me. And I remember we did 2 very skinny beds, and I got him to barrow it, and he, after 1 and a bit beds, he was like, I can't do any more, Nick. I was like, what do you mean? I do like 4 of these beds, I'm fine doing it. He was like, I'm just not fit enough. Which is funny because I'd say he's significantly fitter than I am, and yet he really, really struggled with the barrowing. So it's just interesting, really. But you do have to do quite a lot, and it is in a very short period of time. I mean, you only have a couple of months to sort of turn your garden around before you've got to do it. You've got to plant it all again, and you can't really plant spread manure on your plot unless A, it's already done, or B, there's nothing growing in there. And also it's the newspaper or cardboard. It's very difficult to get enough of that, and I feel like it would be easier if I didn't have to put that in. That's why we've kind of compromised and done wood chip, and we've done, I love wood chip. I'm not even going to talk about that this time, but I do love it. And I put the black plastic over the top because it's just suppressing the weeds once again, suppressing the weeds. All in all, I do think this is a fantastic method, and I really do enjoy it. Like I said, there's some crops that I just simply couldn't grow. People think of it as a little bit of cheating, and they don't feel like it's something that they should be doing. However, I have to say personally that if it works for you, then I think do it, because at the end of the day, no one should be judging nobody. And if it works well for you, then it should be. That is the main thing you're looking at the end of the day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.